Hello, everyone, and already week 5 of Studio Corona, a series of live streams where we talk to our many connections ambassadors in all corners of the world, from Tokyo to New York and from Dubai to South Africa. How do they experience the Corona crisis on the spot? What is going on with the locals? And how do they see the future of their beloved country or city? Life as it is in times of Corona, through the eyes of our companions abroad. And during our conversation, we will also submit a selection of questions we see coming in on the Facebook page to our ambassador. And today we talk to Monica live from Lima, Peru. So, hi Monica, how are you doing?
Hi, fine, fine. Well, actually, with my family, we are good in health, so which is the most important. So yeah, thank you for asking. We're good.
Yes, how did you experience the Corona crisis so far in Peru the last 2 months?
Well, as everybody, it's been, of course, a big surprise. It got us, all of us, in a moment that we didn't expect it. But at the same time, it's a moment that we have seen a lot of solidarity in our country. As a third world country, we have passed through many things during our history, and pandemics is not the first time that we had before. So it's very good for us to see that we are prepared emotionally. So it's been very interesting to see how resilient has been the country.
Okay, and as we can see behind you, you're in a very nice house. You work there at this moment together with your brother Diego, who is together with you having a local agency, right?
Yes, exactly. We are now in Lima, so it's in the travel agency. We have it in here and in Cusco. But now I'm with them in the house. So yeah, I'm working outside. I prefer to do that outside, and my brother is working inside. But we are all together in the house. Yeah.
Okay. Talking about the Corona crisis, what are the most important measures that are still in force today there in Peru?
Well, basically, we still in quarantine. The last time we were supposed to stop it like last Monday, but we have had 2 weeks before in order to prepare the measures. The government had seen in the other governments that also have been very touched by the coronavirus that getting out so fast it was a little bit conflict with the measures. So these 2 weeks, what we are doing is receiving the measures step by step for all the sectors. So normally it's until the 24th. And basically the quarantine is like that. Now we still have from in the night from 8 to 1 o'clock in the morning, we cannot go out at all. And also Sundays, we cannot go out at all. The measures here is a little bit more strict in the fact that we cannot go out running, jogging. We can go out only specifically to do shopping for basic things, of course, to go to the pharmacy or to go to the hospital. And some people can go out, but it's people who needs to go out for work or for basic things that they have a permit. Basically, it's like that how it's been working in Peru.
Now, Corona entered the country via Peruvians returning from Spain and Italy, it was said. So I suppose that the capital Lima is the worst affected of all.
Yes, not only because of that, but also because Lima is a 33 million country people, right? So Lima has almost all this population concentrated inside. So basically, we have most of the people in Lima. But also we have the northern part of Peru, which is close to Ecuador. And they have had also, I mean, after Lima, it's like the second region that's being affected mostly. Basically also because it's an area that has a big high percentage of people who are very poor, right?
Mhm. When we were in Peru with our Connections travel companions last year, we also visited the traditional Inca people living in the Parque de la Papa, and we also visited the people on the floating islands of the Lake Titicaca. How do they react to the crisis? Because they are not living in the big cities.
Yes. Well, this is something very interesting because it reflects a lot the culture that we have, right? In the city, we are citizens like any part in the world, right? But in the Andes, the Andean person is much more careful and is much more attentive to the family, and it's very solidarity. You know, we have this thing about the AINI, which is cooperation. So especially in Cusco and Puno and all the southern part of the Andean people, you've seen things amazing how they go to the market and they put circles and they put at distance, and how the markets also are separated. It's like the more humble people have learned that they have to really care. So they are doing a lot of things between them, between community, and the percentage of contamination is very, very low. In Puno, there is no contamination, for
Okay.
example. In Cusco, it's very little. There was a moment that was no, there's a little peak, but then, you know, it went down really fast. So yeah, it's very interesting.
Are those people also financially supported by the government now during these times?
Basically, yes, this is something also that is changing a lot because now we can see that Peru actually is facing this crisis with much more resources. The economic, the last decade has gone up really fast. So we have much more support than before. The problem probably here is like in order to help people, they need to be in, let's say, in a list, no? People who work for different sectors or with a family. And especially in the mountains, there's still communities that are very far away from all the system. So sometimes they are not even basically in the system, so we don't know that they exist or how to approach them. The only thing we have is the number of the identity piece, right? So this has been probably the only problem that we have had, but mainly the government is giving some bonus for the people in crisis, and around something like 800 soles, with more or less 300 euros, which is basically they have calculated this amount of money for basic things for a family to eat, for example. So there is help. The problem now is how to reach everybody.
Okay, so we can see this like a kind of unemployment fee, like we know here in Western Europe.
Not exactly. We don't have this employment fee in Peru yet. Basically, when somebody loses her job, we have different accounts where we have put money when that is being inside the salary, right? So when you go out, you can touch this money, but it's not like every month, it's just once. But this bonus is basically a special bonus they have created for this crisis. So they're applying this from April, so April and May, and we will see if they will continue in June and July. It's like every month they are deciding if they continue giving this bonus or not. We have to think that half of the people in Peru work in outside, you know, and
Mhm.
so basically when we have cut this freedom to go outside, so the income has lowered very, very fast. So in a way, the government is helping the entrepreneurs, the small enterprises, but the people who, for example, sell flowers in the street and doesn't have a status, uh, still it's the informality of the country, which in a way I also think is very good because now we are facing that this is a big problem in the country. So we are
Yeah, yeah.
trying to resolve that.
Yes, an important part of the Peruvian economy is a local economy, which is not always official, huh?
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. So this is in a way we say here the coronavirus is the master of the creativity. So
Okay.
in a way we are also saying, okay, we always postpone things, so we don't have time, whatever. And but now we see that this is the main problem for the economy. That the informality is really a big step to do in forward after we resolve this crisis, right?
That would be a nice side effect because here in Belgium, for example, the corona crisis is a major factor in pushing the digital transformation of companies. And with you, it could be pushing the social transformation or the economical transformation in that kind of view.
Exactly, because as I said, we have seen so many crises that we are a very creative people. We are very resilient. For example, the person who used to sell all the fruits to my house in the space of 2 weeks, she has already a website. And it's like she has done it so fast. First she started with WhatsApp, then after she sent a very good Excel, and then she already have a website. You can, you know, and these people who really were working outside and they found the resources to go out. But the question is they have a status or not, you know, so they can
Okay.
go forward, but the status they always put it on the side because they feel that it's not so important. So now we see that it's quite important. So yes, I think to make this change in the structure of all different status of entrepreneurs in the country would be a great thing, especially in tourism.
Another important activity is the healthcare system. Do you have the idea that in this crisis, the Peruvian health system is ready for this number of people getting infected? Because you have more than 60,000 people infected at the moment. So the limits are reached. Are there's still possibility to grow in the healthcare system?
Yeah, actually, this was one of the things that I really applaud to our president, because he was very conscious that our system is not prepared for this kind of things so fast, right? We saw how Italy collapsed so fast that when we realized that we have the first case, only the first case, the president, he closed the frontiers. He didn't wait for more because he knew that our system is not prepared for this. If he would have waited more, we will be in a very big mess. Now they have installed several systems. They have created different hospitals. When the towers that they use for the Pan American Games, all of them they are now for coronavirus infections. So the government have done a very big work to create systems parallel for the formal health system. So let's say that we are doing okay. Of course, sometimes we are not having as much as we would like to have, but we are doing okay. And one of the things also in this crisis of sanitary crisis is that Peruvian people are creating their own ventilators, they're creating their own masks, they are creating, it's like the manufacture, the local manufacture has grown up so fast because of solidarity also. That's also a very interesting thing, because most of the time we are very well adapted to buy outside, thinking that outside is much better. But now we have done things with what we have, and actually it has been doing very good. So this is also another thing that we are putting in the list. Okay, sanitary system, local
So
manufacture.
also here a lot of creativity I can hear. Brings me to a question that was just sent in by Violaine, and she asks if people are afraid about the gap that can be created by the crisis in their economic and financial life. So I can hear that people are very creative, but are they also a little bit afraid about the consequences on the financial and economic side for their lives?
Of course, of course. So we are all right. As I said, I don't know if you remember, but we had 10 years of terrorism in the 80s, and which was much worse than this crisis, because at least now we can go out to find food and we can find the food. In those times, we couldn't. And so I remember when I was small, my mother, sometimes she went out and she didn't know if she will find rice or not. All these people, all our parents, they have grown up with these worries, right? And of course they continue, but they also know that it will be okay. It, it doesn't matter what is going to happen, and we will find a way. And they know the only way is also to work together. And this is something that also is great. You can see in these times much better because we have Zoom, we have all different systems that let us work together. In those times, we didn't have that. So, and we went through that. So now it's like a lot of groups working together for all the different sectors. So things are moving. And of course, I mean, fear is always there, but I guess that the fact of working together makes this fear going in a different way. It's more, we are in alert more than fear, right? Now, of course, I'm talking for a big part of the country, but there's also another part which doesn't have these resources. We still have a very big percentage of people who are very poor, miseducated. So yeah, this part is much more complicated, and we hope that not only the government but also the private sector, we are trying to do different stuff, different projects, so we can help this part of the country.
A lot of solidarity and creativity. Does it also mean that the Peruvians they respect the measures that are taken by the government?
Well, even though we're Peruvians, we're still humans, and sometimes human is a bit stupid. Let's say, I'm sorry to say it like that, but I think like any other nationality, we have others. There are people that probably are moved by the fear of by the sense of survive, or just sometimes the people that doesn't know how to live inside so long, and especially in the places where a lot of people living together in one place, because this is one of the things in Peru. Here in one place, sometimes you live 15 people, 14 people. So in some parts of Peru, especially in Lima, there are like 2 or 3 districts that, yeah, they are going out. I mean, they really need to find something to eat, so they need to go out and sell whatever they can do, or to give a service to somebody to get a little bit of money just to eat. So in a way, not everybody, of course, is doing the best, but it's also about the context, right?
Because in normal periods, you have almost every day, I think, especially in Lima and other cities, you have in the streets festivities, colorful parades, people dancing and singing. Those festivities, they are canceled now at the moment.
Yes, of course. All the gatherings are canceled. Not only the usual social gatherings in the city, but also let's remember that soon is June and July. Usually in June and July we have a great festivities for Cosmovision of the Andes, because it's the moment that the rain has finished. So we give thanks to the earth in dancing, of course, and especially in certain festivities in the countryside or in the mountains. There's one in 5,000 meters, which is Coyuriti, and gathers like 4,000, 5,000 people who come to dance to the mountain. And probably this will be the first time in decades that we won't be able to go there. There are many things that we are facing that before, I think, yeah, I think that really all people who goes to this festivity will be the first time that they won't do it. But, you know, we have to do this in order to be healthy.
And the historical sites like Machu Picchu, they are closed at the moment.
Everything is closed. Everything is closed. There are some projects going around. You know, we will go out by sectors, but probably it's not official yet. But probably when they will open, it will be first open for the locals, because people will be there, and it will be probably be free for the people. Sometimes we have some foreigner who lives in Peru, but actually you know, the entrance is always paid. So probably it will be free for a certain time at the beginning, to, you know, to inject some movement also, and to let people to go outside a little bit. And then we probably will open, we hope that everything will be open around end of July, August, talking about the sites, right?
Okay. I got another question coming in. You talked about the solidarity and the projects people are doing. Are there any projects that you think this could be very interesting for Belgium as well, that we could copy these kind of projects or this kind of solidarity?
Well, one of the things that are going on is a lot of intra help. It means like the project, for example, now, especially in tourism, is about helping other entrepreneurs or organizations that were involved in tourism in a way, and now they're going through difficulties. So there are a lot of projects that are gathering together in order to grow or to face this part. And these projects is like everybody do their best. For example, I don't know, I'm very good in marketing, and some other are very good in operations, and they are having the land with this activity. So they are doing this kind of project with people are creating together to be prepared for the moment that the frontiers will be open, right? This is the kind of projects that are a lot in the internet, for example. And then the government, what is doing is a lot of making appeals for the project. Means that they are doing who is working in project for sustainability. So many people are like, I was not, but probably I can do it. And so it's also giving a space for people to see one side of things that probably before they didn't see. And now we have to face it. We need to be more responsible in our activities. It doesn't matter which sector we are. So probably this is the kind of project that I have seen much more and people are much more interested in.
Very interesting. We're getting near the end of the interview. Maybe to finish, I have a more culinary question for you. We know that Peru has a delicious cuisine, and I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite dish? And mine is causa, the lemony mashed potatoes layered with avocado and tuna salad. But what is your favorite dish?
Well, actually, I will say causa because I'm vegetarian, so for me it's very good. But I eat ceviche. It doesn't matter if, if I'm vegetarian. I cannot stop with this thing. It's like part of, I'm from the coast, so if I don't eat ceviche, I'm not Peruvian. So I
Okay.
have to be. And actually, this is what's happening also in Peru. It's like the food will never stop. I mean, this is something that we will see. It's like at the beginning, we were like looking, okay, how we're gonna cook. Everybody was cooking at home, so everything was full of recipes of all the Peruvian recipes we have. And then, of course, the first sector that grew up instantly, like really fast, was food. Like people doing food for others, delivery, is like number one now in Peru, and we are happy because at least
Okay.
we eat good.
Yes, it's good that we can continue eating like this also in times of crisis.
Exactly, everything
Yes,
starts with the belly.
yes. Okay. Monica, thank you very much for your time and being with us in this live stream from Lima today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a good way to that people see that how it's going on all around the world. Keep the track. I'm very sure that we will go through this. We just need to work together, and probably we will travel in a different way, but in a very good way.
Okay. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye bye. Take care.
Okay, so this is it again. Thank you for watching Studio Corona, and we'll see each other again coming Friday at 5 p.m. for a live connection with Reykjavik, Iceland. So stay safe, and one thing is sure, we shall overcome this together. Bye-bye.